And greetings, everyone. This is Terry Naturally with another edition of Terry Talks Nutrition. As always, we are here for you. We are here to share information with you. We don't decide what you should do. We don't tell you what you should do. We offer information based on science and evidence that nutrition, alternative medicines, botanical medicines are very effective, but you have to be careful because it depends on the manufacturer if they follow the right guidelines of making a product that matches the scientific studies. There's a lot of junk on the market, I'm sorry to say, because you'd think that the health food industry would police themselves. But there's always shysters in every walk of life. That somebody is going to take advantage of you and me because they're selling shoddy products. There's a lot of products that are adulterated, inferior ingredients, cheap ingredients, ingredients that don't work. Even in the drug companies, sometimes generic drugs are not exactly the same. Some people don't get results. Some people actually have side effects greater from the generic than from the branded product. So you have to be careful in every facet of your health. And that's why we're here every Saturday and Sunday, just to point out information to you so you can make better choices. Because your entire health profile is decided on your choices. Wow, you're responsible for your health. Nobody else. The doctor is not responsible for your health. We can destroy our health easily. And we can prevent disease as easily and ensure a better quality of life. It's just what we determine to do on a daily basis. So you can go to terrytalksnutrition.com. There you can listen to our radio show on your computer, so it can be listened anywhere around the world. All you have to have is a computer. And get on our radio show section of our website. If you want to listen live, you got to change your times wherever you are to be on the same time we are here in the Central Standard Time in the USA. But you can also go to the radio show section and choose a radio show that has aired in the past, that we have archived there for you to enjoy anytime you want, anywhere you want. So we're making it easy for you to gain information. We also are on various platforms that you can use as well, like Google Podcast, or Stitcher, or Spotify, or TuneIn, or iHeartRadio. We are all over the area, and we have thousands of listeners and thousands of followers for Terry Talks Nutrition. And I don't know why. I'm very thankful. I appreciate all of you for tuning in and listening. You may not agree with all of it, but that's okay. Not all of it is very important for you, but maybe for someone else. So we provide a variety of topics, and this morning we're going to be talking about what I love is one of my most featured topic is propolis. It's an ingredient that the bees use to maintain a healthy environment in their beehive or in their colony. And then we're going to take a very close look at glaucoma. And we're going to talk about the early signs of Parkinson's disease, plus 2 very helpful supplements for those that have Parkinson's disease. And we'll also talk about a healthier heart just by drinking coffee. And we'll talk about the side effects of sleep medications regarding the elderly and their sleep cycle. Then we have other topics as well, and we barely ever get through all of them. I put together 10, 12 topics, maybe get through 1 or 2 or 3, but I'm armed to the teeth to give you a lot of information. The more information that you have, the better choices you can make to be healthier. Now, before we begin our featured topic, I just want to have you listen to check out the new content that we now have available on my website, terrytalksnutrition.com. There you can listen and watch to the Terry and Dr. Lynn Show podcast. Dr. Lynn Wagner is a medical doctor in Green Bay, Wisconsin. She's a lovely lady. She was is a conventional physician and struggled through anxiety and depression. And all of her medical colleagues that were treating her for depression had no really good concrete answers that would solve the problem. And she became very discouraged and disappointed in conventional drugs. And she looked at what can she do? And she did. She changed her lifestyle. She changed the food she was eating. She made choices, made changes with discipline, and is off drugs, off medication, and is a healthy, vibrant young lady. That is an example for all of us. She's a wonderful, beautiful lady, and she has a lot to share. So I am so honored that she and I can work together to bring you more information on our joint podcast. Then also on our website, there are links to all of my books available from Terry Talks Nutrition. Our publishing company lists all the books on the website that are excellent books to help you understand more about the nutritional benefits, treating diabetes, pain relief, sleep, and more with melatonin. Melatonin is just not for sleep. So many people think sleep is the only thing that melatonin has been created for. But it has been created for the entire metabolic function of the body, which includes sleep. Because when night begins at sunset, melatonin is released from the pineal gland and goes to work on all of the metabolic functions in our body, not just for sleep. But sleep is included because that's the time we should go to bed. But we don't have to go to bed in this modern world because we have lights that keep us up all hours of the night and destroys our body. While you're on the website, you can also subscribe to the weekly newsletter, and I'll send you out a weekly newsletter every Friday to your email address so you can read the latest news on natural health. We are here kind of like a clearinghouse of information based on natural medicine, natural alternatives, trying to give you the best information available, current, scientific, evidence-based information. We don't make this stuff up. It's not my ideas. It's not all my information. We search for the best information to provide for you because you don't have time to go on the internet and search for this information. You have plenty to do. You have families to take care of, you've got kids to take care of, you've got a job, and maybe you've got 2 or 3 jobs, who knows? but we try to bring you as much evidence as we can in the hour that we have on Saturday and Sunday, and hope that it brings you a tremendous amount of information. So let's get on with our featured topic today, Propolis. Propolis. It's a substance that bees make, but they make it from natural ingredients that they collect from plant life. And while everyone probably has heard of honey, not many people understand propolis. It's an amazing substance. Powerful and very, very safe for everybody. Babies and infants, kids, whatever. Where honey is not, for honey should not be given to infants, propolis can be. And it's a bee product that many people don't even recognize or understand. And some people often call it bee glue, Glue, bee glue. It's produced by the bees, but they don't make it in the hive. They don't make it from within their own metabolic function, but they gather resins from nearby plants in their environment, and it's used to reinforce and protect their hive. They use it for sealing the cracks and the crevices of their hive. They use it as an immune-boosting substance in their hive to protect against viruses, bacteria, and fungal infection. Even if a very tiny creature would get into their hive, they can't pick it up and move it out of the hive. So they kill it. They sting it to death. And then they mummify it with propolis. Now, probably propolis is one of the oldest alternatives in the world. It isn't new. Maybe you're just hearing about it today, but one of my research studies shows that it was used for reducing inflammation, something we all want to do, and to increase wound healing and reduce infection and kill viruses, bacteria, and fungus. And it was used as early as 300 years before Christ, 300 BC. I was able to determine that there are over 3,000 published studies on propolis in the PubMed database of medical research articles. Highly studied. Some of the studies are even combining propolis and curcumin for cancer prevention and cancer treatment. But I want to rely more on its antimicrobial effect, meaning that it kills all forms of pathogens. Pathogens make us sick. The way we choose our lifestyle causes heart disease, cancer, type 2 diabetes, heart disease, arthritis. Those are caused by our choices. But we can become sick from bacteria, viruses, and fungal infection. So, antimicrobial, killing off all these pathogens. So the many benefits of propolis are that they destroy bacteria, viruses, and it's also an antifungal. In regards to the antibacterial effect, it showed that antibacterial effects against over 30 different bacteria, including the antibiotic-resistant infection bacteria. Even if your body does not have a great benefit from antibiotics, because our body has probably received too much in the food we eat, or many of us have taken too many antibiotics. So the body builds up a resistance, and the bacteria get stronger. They become super strong because they mutate to stronger resistance because they don't want to die. They want to thrive as well. So many forms of antibiotics don't work anymore, but Propolis does. Because Propolis is a complex of all different kinds of natural ingredients collected from plants, trees, buds, shrubs, flowers. It's also an antiviral. It reduces the HIV entry into cells by up to 98%. It's as effective as the drug acyclovir in stopping herpes simplex, or genital herpes, or the cold sore virus, fever blister. These are all caused by a virus. Acyclovir is a drug manufactured by Pfizer and Glasgow. And there were studies done by dividing a group of patients in half when they had herpes, genital herpes, or other viruses, and they were given, half of the patients got acyclovir, and the other half of the patients got Propolis. And Propolis was many times more effective than acyclovir. Acyclovir is a drug. It never changes. Where when you have products like Propolis that are made from plants, you have hundreds of different molecules all working together like an army. Where like acyclovir is like a sniper, a one-shot sniper. Yes, it can bring something down, but when you've got an army, you can do a lot more damage or a lot more good. And Propolis does a lot more good because it has so many unique molecules that are found in Propolis. It's also antifungal. In a test against 15 common fungal pathogens, including Candida, Propolis stopped almost all fungal activity. This is one of my most favorite natural alternatives, natural substance that fights every form of bacteria, viral and fungal. It's also a very powerful antioxidant. In fact, Propolis increased glutathione levels by 50% in prostate cancer cells. It's a very powerful anti-inflammatory. And here are some studies against HSV. Propolis is a resin that's gathered from plants by bees, brings it into the hive or the colony, and it's used in their hives as a natural defense mechanism for their own goodwill and survival. Now they mix it with beeswax and other resins, and then it turns into a putty or a glue. So for us to use it as humans, we can't digest it because of the inability to break down in our digestive tract the resins and the glue-like substance. So in order for us to get the benefit, bee manufacturers or bee keepers purified propolis of all the waxes and the inactive compounds and contain the same high value and beneficial compounds called polyphenols. Concentrated propolis is a very powerful, strong antiviral. Kills infection, stops infection. In any age, it is so safe to use, even in infants. Researchers released recently propolis to HSVI and HSV2 cells to propolis and acyclovir to see which had the best antiviral activity. Propolis was much more effective than acyclovir against HSVI, V1 rather, 7% greater viral inhibition and slightly more effective than HSV2. 55% greater viral inhibition. When we're talking about viruses, isn't that what we're dealing with today? The various strains of viruses. First it was COVID-19, then it was Delta. Where do all these strains come from? Well, in some of the research shows that in humans and animals, that when they are deficient in selenium, a mild viral outbreak becomes lethal or deadly if the individual, the animal or the human, is deficient in selenium. A selenium deficient individual cannot block the uptake of the virus, and it creates a deadly virus. It becomes virulent, lethal, deadly, or fatal. That's why many people died. I am absolutely convinced they died because of their nutritional deficiencies. Over 2 billion people worldwide, in a large section of China as well, and the same part of China as the virus was discovered, are deficient in selenium. All of Europe is almost all greatly deficient in selenium, and many sections of the U.S. But propolis, working not only on the immune system, but actually to treat and kill the virus, adding selenium would be a huge benefit. My favorite combinations. So here's some research against COVID-19. Propolis against COVID-19, the coronavirus. Researchers tested the ability of purified, concentrated propolis, known as EP300. Jot that down. Propolis EP300. This is the one that's being studied to stop different types of RNA viruses. This family of viruses includes the viruses that affect and attack cats, felines, the human coronavirus, and VSV, a viral disease affecting horses and cattle. Now here's some lab research. They took VSV viruses, and exposed them in the laboratory to Propolis for a period of 5 minutes. 5 minutes. And it killed all the viruses up to 99%. What should we be taking? I know what I'm taking. I take Propolis every day as a preventative. And if you have an outbreak, as a treatment. The feline coronavirus, those that affect cats, was reduced by 99.9% after just 15 minutes exposure to Propolis. Now the human coronavirus was reduced by 99.9% after 30 minutes exposure. Propolis is useful for viral and bacterial infections, yeast and fungal infections, and is very safe for both adults and children. I'm going to go back with just a few more tips on Propolis and how it can be used for all immune function conditions, but I've got to stop and take a break. We're at the bottom of the hour, and we need to take our station break, our commercial break, but we'll come right back with you as well. I am Terry Naturally, and this is Terry Talks Nutrition. Remember to catch us every Saturday and Sunday at 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock Central Standard Time. And while you're on our website, subscribe to the newsletter, because this is the kind of information you can get all the time. So we'll be back right in a few seconds, so stay right where you are. We'll be back right after this. And welcome back, my friends. This is Terry Naturally. Another edition coming up right here for the next half hour to the top of the hour is terrytalksnutrition.com. And I spent probably the first half of the program and a little bit more in the second half of the program on Propolis. Why? Because it's worth it. This is a substance like none other. I use this every day. I use it to make sure that I don't come down with a cold or flu. So I am well protected, so that my immune system is strong. Yes, I still take the vitamins and minerals that are required for the immune system, but Propolis has such a powerful effect on killing off viral and bacterial and fungal infection. Very, very powerful. And you can even use it for kids, for ear infection. But talk to your doctor. Whenever you have an infection, it's serious. So talk to your doctor. But you can also do this along with whatever your doctor has prescribed. If you take that prescription, you can still use this. It is not counterproductive. You can use it with any medication. It is extremely safe. It's a food, but a food with a power of a natural medicine. Remember, food is your medicine. So you can use it for all immune conditions, especially prevention. And actually, prevention is a cure of all disease, right? If we prevent a disease, we don't have to try to treat the disease. It's cured before it even happens. So prevention and treatment of upper respiratory tract infections, whether they're viral or bacterial, you don't have to worry. Is this bacterial infection, or is this a viral infection, or is this a fungal infection? I don't know. Doesn't make any difference. Propolis treats it all. Common cold, flu, all kinds of infection. It is a very powerful immune-enhancing tonic. No side effects. None whatsoever. Candida and all other fungal infections. Canker sores. cold sores, fever blisters, gastrointestinal tract problems like peptic ulcers, and cancer. All of the research, 3,000 studies, have pretty much summarized it to be equal to or better results than prescription drugs for the conditions that we talked about. Very powerful effect. So how do you know what to choose? Well, first of all, the studies were done with Propolis called EP300. If you look for that, you'll find a high-quality, well-studied, scientifically evidence-based Propolis. But you also want to look for clinical studies where on a purified Propolis, because you have to remove the wax. We don't digest beeswax. We don't digest the resin and the impurities that are found in beeswax. So it has to be removed. And it's removed by mechanical methods, no solvents, and creates a very powerful, concentrated propolis extract. And then we want to always make sure that there is ethical management of the beehives. And it's very important. Boy, if we lose the bees, we're in a lot of trouble. And even today, mortality, death, among European wild bees is as high as 20%. If you're just going to use propolis as a maintenance, just prevention, take about 200 milligrams daily. If you have something going on, like a viral infection or bacterial infection or whatever it might be, you could go as high as 800 milligrams. It absolutely has no adverse effects. Safe for kids. Works extremely well. Now, here's a very serious condition. And I can share with you some personal stories. Glaucoma. Let's take a closer look at this very serious eye condition. It's something you don't want to play around with. It has been known as the silent thief of your sight. Silent thief. It's going to steal away your sight. But silently. You don't know it. In fact, glaucoma is the second leading cause of blindness in the U.S. after diabetic retinopathy, which is caused by diabetes. And your eyesight is valuable. I'm sure many people would pay anything to get their sight back. The blindness caused by glaucoma results from damage to the optic nerve caused by increased pressure in the eye because fluid not draining properly. The fluid collects in the back of the eye, affecting the optic nerve, and for many, they don't even know it. For others, it causes extreme pain. In the early stages, there are no symptoms. By the time it is detected, there may be permanent damage which has already been caused. So you want to maybe see your physician or your eye doctor on an ongoing basis. Because 50% of people with glaucoma don't know it. And you could lose your vision, go blind. And there's no cure and no way to restore vision once it is lost. Now I'll tell you a personal story. I was traveling through India, visiting old friends and buying more raw materials, like glaucoma, like like curcumin, boswellia, and andrographis, all come from India. So I was there on a business trip, but still reaching out to very, very dear old friends. And one night in my hotel, I was alone, traveling alone. All of a sudden, I got an extreme pain in my head. And I don't get headaches. I've never had what I would call a headache. I might have got a little bit fuzzy headache from drinking, too much wine maybe sometime, but I have never really had what I would call a headache. But I had so much pain in my head, I couldn't stand it. So I got up, went down to the concierge, and said, I've got to go to the hospital. I have so much pain, I can't stand it. So I went to the hospital in India, in Kerala, and they gave me some relief, but nothing that would relieve it. And I was leaving the next morning to go back to the U.S. So I thought I could make it home. I had pain. I'm a pretty good tolerant of pain, but it was excruciating. So the next morning, the hotel was so kind. They took me to the hotel, took me to the airport, got me a wheelchair because I couldn't even walk. And when I was sitting in a wheelchair waiting for my flight to board, two people that I had been visiting in India were also on my flight to Dubai. And I didn't even know that. It just happened. But you know, those things happen when you have angels in your life. Angels come into your life exactly when you need them. And these two guys were flying to New York through Dubai. I was flying home to Green Bay, Wisconsin, through Dubai. And one of these guys was a medical doctor. When he saw me, they said, Terry, what's going on? And I explained to them a little bit. And the doctor went up to the counter and said, I'm a medical doctor. This gentleman is in dire need of medical care. I will take care of him. Make sure you get our seats together. So they had to make seat changes so that we could fly together. He took care of me until we got to Dubai. Then, unbeknown to me, they were sure that I was not going to fly to the U.S. They took me to a hospital in Dubai. And the medical doctor that was traveling with me had 3 or 4 medical colleagues that they went to school with at that same hospital, and he gathered them up together and said, this man's in dire need. He's got pain in his head, and it seems to be glaucoma. What are we going to do? Well, long story short, I stayed in the hospital in Dubai for 3 days, and they relieved the pressure sufficiently enough to allow me to go home. They had to make sure that using laser technique, they were able to poke a hole through the area where the drainage should take place and relieve the pressure and allow the fluid to be reabsorbed back into the body. So after 3 days, I was in much better. I was still sore. I could not see out of my eye because it was so strained. And they said, make sure that you go to your eye doctor when you get home. And so I left Dubai. I spent 3 days in the hospital in Dubai. The doctor was a blessing. He was an angel for sure. He probably was 6'4" and probably weighed 250 pounds. And I'm 5'7" and I weigh 150 pounds. And he grabbed me up in his arms and he said, Terry, you're going to be okay. He said, I'll pray for you. And I never got a bill from the hospital. I don't know why or how. Even they gave me some drops to relieve the pressure if it happened, and that was no charge. but I saved my eyesight. The doctor in Green Bay told me that there is a defect in my eyes that probably was from birth, that the thickening of the area where it drains closes off very quickly and does not allow the fluid to drain. So he also did a laser technique to make sure that my eye was clearly open for drainage. And now I don't wear glasses, except when I have very, very fine print. I use cheaters, but I don't wear glasses to drive. I don't wear glasses to see. I have good vision, whether it be close or far. But it's a very serious condition, and there really is no cure. There is no way to reduce the damage. If you have it occurring, there is no cure or way to restore vision once it's lost. There is just no way. Don't play around with glaucoma. It is a very, very serious condition. But there is some help. Not help to restore blindness or eyesight. There is no help to cure it. But there is help for prevention. And the prevention is OPC. OPC is an abbreviation of the very long name of the compounds that are found in grape seed extract. OPC stands for oligomeric proanthocyanins. So we just abbreviate that to OPC. And researchers have used OPC from grapeseed, far more valuable than bilberry. Some people have used bilberry for their eyesight. A lot of Europeans use bilberry for their eyesight. But grapeseed, from the research I've come across, is far more effective. In studies, researchers exposed retinal cells to extreme oxidative stress. Now, oxidative stress destroys our eyesight, causes cataracts. That would be like excessive sunshine, smoke, cigarette smoke, either first party or third party, pollution, or just not enough vitamins and minerals, nutrients that could maintain a healthy retinal. But they can treat it with OPCs, and about 70% of these cells will survive oxidative damage or oxidative stress. And even when these retinal cells were treated with OPC, or oligomeric proanthocyanins, then exposed to oxidative stress, all the cells survived. OPCs completely protected the eyesight from oxidative damage. If you want healthy eyes and want to maintain healthy eyes, OPCs have been shown to limit the cell damage to your eyes associated with diabetic retinopathy, both in human and animal models. OPCs reduce oxidative stress in diabetics, diabetic eyesight, diabetic retinopathy by up to 30 to 45% versus untreated animals, and reduce these fragile retinal cell death by 45%. Now, for prevention, I would look for a French grapeseed extract that was tannin-free and take about 150 milligrams daily. If you have eyesight condition, if you're being treated for something, take 300 milligrams of French grapeseed extract. It has no known side effects. None. Zero. Zip. No side effects. Very powerful, but I have people that constantly ask me when they see me or they write me or whatever, what can I do? I have glaucoma. How can I cure that? What should I do? Talk to your doctor. Stay in touch with your doctor. Because it takes only a few weeks of untreated glaucoma to cause blindness. My eye doctor told me of a gentleman who had extreme pain in his head that in some cases indicate glaucoma, went to his regular doctor and treated for headaches for several weeks. Did not treat him glaucoma because it wasn't in his forte, and the gentleman lost the sight in his eye. Be careful. Talk to your eye doctor. Maybe as you get older, make sure you get a good test for your eyes. They're too precious to lose. Don't take chances. Now here are some early warning signs of Parkinson's disease and how maybe two very helpful natural supplements may prevent Parkinson's or maybe slow it down. Problems with walking can be an early warning sign of Parkinson's disease. It's a very progressive disease of the nervous system. It's the loss of the neurotransmitter dopamine that affects movement, balance, and posture, speech and muscle control. Most people think the first sign of Parkinson's are tremors. That's the first thing they think of in Parkinson's disease. But there are other early signs that might not even be noticed. So if you experience any of these symptoms of Parkinson's disease, talk to your doctor. First of all, if you can't walk at your normal pace, your movements are now slower. Your step size is smaller. Your arms don't swing naturally at your sides. Your feet sometimes feel glued to the floor, or you have trouble walking around corners or stepping through a doorway. Or sometimes when you feel that your feet are glued to the floor, it takes a moment for you to start moving forward. A few seconds delay. These are all warning signs. Doesn't mean that you have Parkinson's disease, but these are signs that creep up over time that may make you a candidate for Parkinson's disease. So there are things we can do as a preventative early on in life. Don't wait. You know, when you wait, it's the same as rolling the dice. You don't know what numbers are coming up. So don't wait for your number to come up and you have a full-blown disease. When if you were to change your diet, eat healthier, get more sleep, reduce screen time of all different kinds of screen time, phones, games, TV, whatever it might be, and get out and walk in the fresh air. Walk slow if you have to, but that's where you start. But then there are two very helpful supplements that have been proven to slow down and improve and prevent Parkinson's disease. And one of my favorites again is curcumin. It is proven to cross the blood-brain barrier. Curcumin that is bound and complexed with turmeric essential oil increased curcumin levels in the brain 14 times higher than standard curcumin. And because of its anti-inflammatory and antioxidant properties, curcumin has been shown to prevent the loss of dopamine in the brain, which is the common human and animal model of Parkinson's disease. And glutathione. I'll spell that. Glutathione. Glutathione. Glutathione levels are 30 to 50% lower in the brains of people with Parkinson's. And the lower the level, the worse the symptoms. In clinical trials, glutathione administration improved motor scores of people with PD, or otherwise Parkinson's disease. So I suggest about 150 milligrams of active glutathione twice daily. It's a sublingual tablet. You should hold the tablet under your tongue for absorption. This bypasses the gastrointestinal tract system. Otherwise, it's digested. If you swallow any form of glutathione in the stomach, it's digested in the stomach, and you will get no value from it. It has to be absorbed sublingually. And in the case of curcumin, I would take about 750 milligrams complex to turmeric essential oil, which increases absorption about 700%. And in studies showing curcumin for brain function, bound to the essential oil, increase curcumin levels in the brain by 14 times higher than standard curcumin. And actually, many of these conditions are caused by oxidative and inflammatory conditions. If we reduce the inflammation and the oxidative stress, we will live a longer, healthier life with more vitality and enjoyment. So, my friends, it's probably too late to start more subjects because we're running out of time. We only have maybe less than a minute left. But we'll bring you more information tomorrow from 8 o'clock till 9 o'clock Central Standard Time. And we'll be back here next weekend again for 2 days of information to bless you with better health. Hopefully to bless you with better health. We're not making decisions for you. We don't tell you what to do. We offer you suggestions of what you might think of doing. But always keep your doctor in the loop. If you're on medication, you should share this information with your doctor. If you're taking extra alternative medicines, share that with your doctor. Talk to your doctor, keep your doctor in the loop, and then do as your doctor prescribes for you as well. With that, my friends, we're all out of time. So please pray for this crazy, insane world. It's going in the tank. So God bless you, and God bless America.
Thank you for listening to Terry Talks Nutrition Weekly Show. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a review on your favorite podcast platform, including Apple, Google, and iHeartRadio.